Well, good morning, everyone. It's Thursday, May 15th. We're halfway through the month. I want to thank you for joining us for Up to the Minute. I am Linda Davis, the office manager for Northeast College Operations, and we'll be joined a little later by Sharday Campbell, our enrollment communication and social media manager. And if you've missed us and you want to find out what we've been talking about, you can join us live on Houston Community College's district Facebook page, not HCC, and YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and HCCTV at noon, 5 and 10, Monday through Friday. We have a couple of great guests. Our first guest is Ms. Roxann Barrera-Coffman. She's the instructor of ASL Interpreting and Translating Program. Hello, Roxann.
Hi, Linda. I'm so happy to be here today. Thank you for having us.
We're glad to have you. And we also have joining Roxann, Saraya Hubbard, who's our first place winner for the ASL competition. Hello, Saraya. I think you might be on mute. All right, Saraya, we'll be back with you in a little bit. You and Roxann, you're going to have a lovely segment in the second part of the show. But we're going to go ahead and get our Thursday Family Fun Day kicked off. And we'll be talking about Extreme Animals, a live exhibit that investigating the variety of animals, adaptations found in the natural world with Nicole Temple. Nicole.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Nicole is the Vice President of Education for the Houston Museum of Natural Science and our Thursday Family Fun Day guest. We understand this is not her first time at this rodeo. So we're going to buckle up and we're going to have a good ride. Now, I know what you're talking about, and I was a little scared because it's some extreme animals. But
yeah,
first, we'll talk about, let's get started with those.
You want me to show you who I brought?
Would you please?
Okay, I'm going to start with the easy one. This one is in the Super Survivors category. This is a giant African millipede, and he is in the living fossils category. They have about 10,000 members of their species alive today, and the one that we are featuring in the exhibit was alive at the time of the dinosaurs, and this is the largest species that's alive today. It's called the giant African millipede, and he's kind of a teenager, so he'll get bigger. But the ones that were alive during the time of the dinosaurs could reach up to 6 feet.
Wow.
That's pretty big. And he's called a millipede because he's got all those little teeny feet. But really, they only have between 250 and 500 feet.
So, well, thank you for kicking us off with a first, a little scary. But hey, tell us a little bit about the exhibit and when it opens.
The exhibit opens for members on May 23rd, and it opens for the general public on May 24th. It is in the lower level of the basement, and the premise is we're sort of teaching you about animal adaptations, but we're using kind of a comic book theme to do it because these animals have what would be considered superpowers if humans had them.
Wow. I like that. That takes some of the fear out of it for some of us that might be a little scared.
Yeah. So one of the things that the exhibit features is things that you may be familiar with, but don't know about their superpower. So for example, the Virginia possum, the ones that you see in your neighborhood or on your back fence that just sort of plod along, they actually glow a bright fluorescent kind of coral or pink under UV light.
Wow.
So probably didn't know that. That's a pretty cool power.
Now, give us a brief rundown of what's included in the exhibitions for the guests.
Okay. So there are 6 different galleries. The first one is talking about what is an adaptation and how different animals handle different tasks. The second one is specifically about superpowers. The third one is about extreme cold and like what you have to do to be able to live in the extreme cold of the Arctic. Next, we have extreme heat. And the differences there, we have extreme dark, and then we have super survivors, which is living fossils, things that were alive 300 million years ago and are alive today.
Wow. That's amazing to know.
It's
So,
going to be pretty fun.
so I hear some of them shape shift.
Yes, so axolotls, which are kind of having a little moment right now, they are an amphibian and the ones that we're featuring are found in Mexico. Normally, that's their native habitat. They are kind of a choose your own adventure animal. And so they normally an amphibian has an egg, and then it goes to a larval stage like a tadpole and a frog, and then it goes to an adult stage. And these guys are like, nah, we're good. We're just if they get out on land, they will lose their gills and then they can't go back to the water, but they can sort of keep that cycle going when they're in the water. And because of that ability to sort of like modify their bodies, they can lose their limbs and regrow them. They can even lose part of their brain and regrow it. And so we're trying to study them, like scientists are trying to study them now to figure out like what is the mechanism that turns on and off, like what genes are happening there, and hopes that we can figure out in the future how to like regenerate limbs for somebody who is like an amputee.
Well, that's amazing. Now, I hear that some of them, the animals even control the minds of other animals.
Yes. So probably my favorite example is the horsehair worm. And if you have not seen some of the videos that are out there on social media, you should watch them. They're really gross. But they will get into, let's say, praying mantises. And the horsehair worm needs to start its life cycle in the water. So it'll lay its eggs in the water. Then something in the water eats that, let's say dragonfly larva. Then something eats that, and eventually they get into a larger insect like a praying mantis. And then these worms grow and they're gigantic compared to the size of the body of the praying mantis. And then at some point it will control various hormones and chemicals in the brain of the praying mantis that force it to go throw itself into water and drown itself so it can start the life cycle over again.
Call that a superpower, right? So are visitors allowed to get up and close with the critters?
Yes, so we have many animals that are going to be in enclosures, and so you're going to be able to like see them in their enclosure. But then we also have a touch card in there that'll be available during certain parts of the day, and we'll have it staffed with people who will have some touch objects, and then we'll also have some animals there as well.
Wow, that is amazing. You showed us one friend. Do you
Yes.
have others you'd like to share? At least one more that doesn't scare me?
And this is the one that usually freaks people out.
Is that
So this is
right in front of me, right there?
whip-tailed vinegaroon, and he's part of the arachnid family and or part of the arthropod family. So like he's related to spiders and scorpions, and he looks really, really fierce. He's got those long feet at the beginning, and his power is that he's able to shoot acid out of his butt. So for you, that's like acetic acid, like vinegar. But if you're like an animal that's going to eat it, like you're a raccoon that's going to pick this up and eat it, and you get a full shot of vinegar in your eyeball, that does not feel great.
Right.
So you will probably spit that out, and you'll remember not that one in the future.
Well, I think we have time for one more. Do you have another one?
I don't have one on me. I only brought two because I didn't know how much time I was going to have. But I can tell you about some of the other animals that are going to be in there.
Well, I tell you what, I want to get the most important thing in. How can people get tickets?
You can get them online. You can get them at the box office. We have a kiosk in the Grand Hall when you get here. And the ticket to Extreme Animals also gets you into the permanent exhibit halls for the day as well.
Well, that sounds great. We won't get a chance to talk about any of the other animals, but that'll give people a reason to go to the exhibit, right? So they're curious now. They saw these two. They got to go see the rest, right?
Yes. Some of them are really pretty good size.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Nicole Temple, Vice President of Education for the Houston Museum of Natural Science, and our Thursday Family Fun Day guests. We'll have your information in the post after the show. Thank you so much for coming again, Nicole.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
All right. We'll be back in about 60 seconds, and Sade will be talking with Roxann and Saraya about the interpretation program and our winners. So you don't want to go anywhere. Hang on. We'll be right back, Saraya.
I'm not just studying AI, I'm designing solutions to make the world a better place for us all.
I didn't just study buildings. I connected them with tech to make them smarter.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
All right, welcome back. I am pleased to be here. Sade Campbell, I serve as the host of Up to the Minute with my co-host, Linda Davis. So welcome back to the show. I want to welcome our guests for our segment. But first, we're going to be talking about our sign language competition with our instructor, Roxann Barrera-Coffman, who's the instructor for HCC's American Sign Language, and Saraya Hubbard, who serves as one of the first place winners in our ASL competition. All right. Well, welcome back to the show, Roxann. And for the first time, Saraya, good morning, ladies.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning. So this event features students from various ASL levels competing in an interview style voice off format. So that is definitely different. And they were scored by judges from the deaf community and ASL users on fluency, grammar, clarity, and expression. So let's kick things off, Roxann. I think one thing I'm learning is that I actually have a nonverbal niece, and it never dawned on me around grammar in ASL.
A lot of people think that American Sign Language is just sign language in English order, but it's not. It's very complicated. And so our classes are focused not just teaching you sign language, the signs for words, but how to structure it. And so even though we have a lot of users of sign language, this competition was specifically focused on American Sign Language. Its signs, its grammar, its structure, and 60% of sign language is your face. So if you don't lean in for your questions or show sad when you're sad, those type of things you would get marked off for.
And so this competition, I heard that you all had a fantastic turnout. And other than exposure, not only for the attendees and for the students, what was the purpose and the vision for the competition?
So I think that motivation is, part of, ensuring success within our students. So I wanted to give them something that they would get motivated to come and to compete. And so we were funded by the HCC Foundation in the form of scholarships. So our students actually won scholarship money towards their classes and what they need for HCC. So our first place winners won $500, our second place winners won $350, and our third place winners won $150. So that alone was okay, let me sign up. And so, but aside from that, it obviously is just motivation to work hard and do your best, because we're trying to train future sign language interpreters for the deaf community. And having the deaf community there, I think also a lot of them were saying that they have so much hope for the future and for their future interpreters.
Yeah, and this is amazing too, because this is real life application. You can learn the words, you can learn the vocabulary. So even if I think about like Spanish, I used to work in financial aid. There are just a lot of words that don't translate naturally from financial aid into Spanish. And I would think the same is true in ASL. So when you set up these scenarios where they're doing interviews, this brings a vocabulary into your point, expressions and things, and how to express things in a way that will prepare them for real interviews and real life experiences.
Oh, yes, definitely. It is a conversation, and we try to make it as authentic as possible. However, I do want to emphasize that the structure of the interview was based on the curriculum. We use a curriculum called True Way ASL. So I created all the questions based on the vocabulary that they were taught that semester. And each of the interview was 4 minutes for round 1, and then we had a round 2, and those were 6-minute interviews.
Love it. And for so it sounds like, okay, so they built up on this curriculum for the semester, and they were able to apply it. About our winners, what are some things that came out of the mock interviews that you think were like some really good takeaways for the students?
Well, each student had an interviewer who was deaf, so we made sure that that was an authentic feeling for them, that they were being interviewed by a deaf person. And so I think a lot of the students walked away feeling, I can't speak for them, but I'm trying to, I think they walked away feeling like, I know more than I thought that I knew, right? Or I can do more than I thought I could. And so I think a lot of them surprised themselves because I don't know, there's something about sign language that we doubt ourselves a lot on how we're functioning or how we're able to express ourselves, because it is a very difficult language. So I think when they won, I think they were so surprised that they did win, especially knowing that there was a deaf person on the other end of that interview. And there was deaf people watching them, and ASL users who are like professionals and amazing. We had great interpreters that were here, deaf ed teachers. So I know the environment was very nerve-wracking for them, but I think they walked away feeling more confident in their skills, which I think will transfer into next semester and hopefully produce, higher advanced work.
All right, thank you so much. Now, I asked you as a faculty member, what were your takeaways? But I want to bring in Saraya, one of our student competition winners. Are you able to quickly tell us in ASL what it means to win this competition?
Yes, just really quickly, my name's pronounced Saraya.
Saraya, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. So, you said to win this, what it means to win this competition?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I surprised myself. I didn't think I was going to win first place. And at my level, there were 3 of us competing. And it was, wow, I won. And wow, and reading the feedback, which I was so grateful to receive the feedback, I knew that there were things that I still needed to work on, but it felt really good to know that I was able to hold the conversation as I needed to express myself, and that I was communicating, like genuinely communicating in ASL, being able to receive and then also express, if that makes any sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and how do you think this competition impacted students who are learning ASL, and also the deaf community who may have been participating or watching?
I think that it was a really, really great way to connect, not only with peers, but with members of the deaf community. And it kind of opened up the I'm trying to find the proper words, but basically just showing all of us that everyone wants to be connected with one another. Like they want to see the people that are going to be going out into the community to be working with them. And then also showing us that they support us in trying to get there. And it was really great to meet more members of the community. The woman that interviewed me, her name was Jana, and this was her name sign. And she was so sweet. She was so patient, and I know that she tried to sign a little bit slower because there's such thing as deaf speed. And deaf speed, everything is flying right at you, and you have to try and receive all of it. And she was very, very patient. And I appreciate her for allowing me to receive what it was that she was signing to me. But in this, it just felt like it helped to strengthen the community with the upcoming interpreting students and then the actual members of the deaf community, and just that connection. I think it was beautiful for everyone to be there.
And what made you go into interpretation? What made you choose to do ASL interpretation?
I knew that I was always someone who was more of a service person, and I work well with my hands. Yes, my mind as well. But I was really, really liked community. And so when I was first genuinely getting to be exposed to it when I was 20 and living in California, I got a small taste of the deaf culture and the deaf community. And it was just like, wow, I love this. And why don't we think about these people more often? Like, what can I do? Like, how can I be supportive in this environment? And also get a little bit of a taste, because I like that they hug. They're a lot more intimate as people. So I feel like God helped me get here.
And I love to hear that. Are you able to sign your name and say that you were the first place winner of the competition?
I'm not sure, but my name, first place, I won. How would I sign that? I think that's good. I'm getting a thumbs up from my professor.
Thumbs up from the professor. We love it. Congratulations on winning. I want to thank Roxann Barrera-Coffman, who's an instructor for HCC's ASL interpreting and translation program, and Saraya Hubbard, one of the first place winners for HCC's first ever ASL competition. We'll have information posted after the show about our ASL program. All right, thank you, ladies. And up next, we'll be back with news and announcements.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care. I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
That one day at PE when they were like yelling at me, and then you just linked arms with me. I don't think you know how much like that helped me. I finally like knew that I had somebody.
All right, we're calling all graduates. Graduation is tomorrow. Our spring graduation will be happening Friday, May 16th, and we're so excited to celebrate our spring 2025 grads. It's almost time to turn those tassels, soak in the moment with your families and the moment that you've worked so hard for. But before you do, here's what you need to know before you go. There are two ceremonies. There's a 9 a.m. and a 2 p.m. and you can only attend the one that you registered to attend. So don't forget your stage passes, which is your ticket to enter as a graduate, and also make sure that your guests have their tickets, because all guests will need a ticket for entry. Please note that guests without a ticket will not be admitted, but the good news is loved ones without a ticket can tune into the live stream from home. It'll be live streamed at hccs.edu/live. And for all the must-know details like parking, what to bring, accessibility information, head to hccs.edu/before you go. We're proud of you and can't wait to cheer you on. Check the post for details after the show.
Automotive Career Fair for Northeast, right here where I roam. HCC's Automotive Technology Center is hosting a career fair for current and former students to meet with employers from the CarMax dealership. It'll be 8 a.m. to noon, Saturday, May 17th, the Automotive Technology Building. You can check out the post for more information after the show.
All right. Well, we have an Instagram exhibition, an online gallery. Instagram is currently our gallery walls for our exhibition that features all studio classes from all colleges in the HCC system. The viewing link will be available online through May 31st, and check the post after the show for the link to access it.
PSI Boot Camp, prepare for success. High school students, adult learners, and someone returning to education can attend HCC's next round of TSI boot camps this month. These free, yes, free interactive sessions are designed to help students excel on the Texas Success Initiative, TSI assessment, ensuring that they're ready to succeed in college. 8 a.m. to noon, Saturday, May 17th at HCC South Campus. Check out the posts for more information after the show.
All right. Well, just another note about graduation. That means that Up to the Minute won't be live on social media tomorrow, but we will be live streaming the graduation, and a best of episode will air on HCCTV's network at the normal times of noon, 5, and 10 p.m.
Put a little pep in your step. It's almost time, that time of the year in review process for the 2024-2025 PEPs must have your PEP documented acknowledged by June. For additional information, visit HCC for step-by-step instruction, or you can contact your Talent Relations Senior Partner. The deadlines are June 1st for 9-month full-time faculty and part-time adjunct faculty, and June 30th for 10-month full-time faculty and full-time staff. Check out the post after the show. Brag on yourself a little bit. Get that PEP score up.
All right. Well, fall registration is open. Summer registration is ongoing, and it's not too early to think about fall. Make sure that you're registering early to stay on track. HCC offers classes in online and in-person formats. And to learn more about our program, start dates, and options to cover costs, head on over to hccs.edu/apply. And looking ahead, as we said, we'll be back after graduation on Monday, and our HCC Northwest President, Dr. Zachary Hodges, will join us to tell us all about the latest things going on with that college. And it'll be Mental Health Monday, which will feature Bridge Over Troubled Waters to talk about the wellness wheel. Thanks so much for joining us for this edition of Up to the Minute. We'll see you next time.